Well, welcome everybody, and welcome to Founder Spotlight. I'm Izzy Lozada with Fidelity Equity Partners, and I'm so excited with our guests today from Bokapsys, a remarkable accounting platform. You know, folks, we've been hearing so much about AI and agentic AI. It's coming out of our ears, but I got to tell you, this has been one of the most remarkable platforms that I've seen that can really help small businesses. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder here. So, Augustine, why don't you bring us up to speed with what you and Imran have done and your background with all this? We'll start with that. What was the genesis of you coming across all this, Augustine?
Yes, I'm a CFO by trade, so I work on many companies, as a CFO, as a controller, big companies like HP, Apple, etc., but also many small companies and startup in the Silicon Valley area. And when I was doing my work, I realized that the process was being very tedious, and I was spending my Saturday, downing data from the bank and my Sunday to analyze.
Mm.
So, I decided to do something about that. And, trying to use Airtable, I trying to use Python that I was not an expert to try to get something that will, you know, automate and get the data directly what I need them to be. And at that point, I met Imram that really helped me to, finalize my thinking. And Imram is a expert on machine learning and AI, and putting together our, expertise, we are able to produce a product, a platform that today allow people to do the accounting work in minutes, not in weeks and days,
Wow.
and also a platform that will start from the ingestion of data until the tax preparation, and you can do the job end to end in one platform. So that's what we have today, and we are at that time we have added a layer of intelligence, which is a what we call AI CFO, that will allow a few things here that are unique. Um, First of all, because of the AI and the LLM, you are able to converse with the data. You can ask questions and get answers. You can answer on the past, your performance, your compliance questions, and also most intensely, you can look at the future. You can see the impact on the activity on your business, the risk. If you are a company that imports product from the Middle East, at the time we have the crisis, the system can tell you, oh, you got a problem. You better, do something about that now, or maybe take the decision on your behalf in the future.
Yeah.
So we are in a situation where we are automated most of the accounting processes, and we're now moving to the intelligence, to the financial intelligence that we believe will be the main important um, expertise to gain in the next few years.
And
What the LLM. Okay.
absolutely. And what I love about what you're doing, Augustine, is that you're really helping small business owners stop wasting time on accounting and taxes so they can really focus on their businesses. And that's a critical variable because when you're a solopreneur or a small entrepreneur and you start to scale, you're going to have the pressures of accounts payable, accounts receivable, making sure all those things are done in a timely manner. And I love some of the processes that we'll get into here a little bit deeper in the conversation. But I do want to jump over to Imran because there are some processes there that can really start understanding through the email pipeline the functionality of what accounting should look like based on some of the risks and exposures that they're seeing with their respective clients and their cash flow and everything else. That is just amazing, being able to have that AI CFO at your side. Imran, why don't you bring us up to speed with some of the technical features? And the exciting thing about this is Folks, Bokapsys is not at ideation stage. I don't think there's anything wrong with that when you have folks that are looking for capital in their or an infusion of capital into their company when they're at ideation stage. But the exciting thing about Bokapsys is they have the MVP built. They have clients that are starting to use this already. So now we're at a phase where we're going to start scaling this. That's super exciting. So my hat's off to you with that, Augustine. You've done a great job in leading the team, and I'm really excited for us to jump into what Imran can show us here. And Imran, share your screen at any time. I think the demo is super exciting.
Thank you, Izzy. Let me just share my screen.
Yeah, and as we're doing that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, Imran, and your expertise as Augustine was articulating that you've had a strong background in AI, machine learning, and everything else. So bring us up to speed with that and then jump into the demo, please.
Yeah, I'm actually a lead machine learning engineer, and I have been actually working on uh, different fields, not just the NLP AI stuff, but I have been working on traditional machine learning stuff throughout the years, I think more than 10 years now. And from last 5 years, I'm more focused on the AI as the world is moving. So and that is the reason, and that is actually the motivation we have actually get to uh, to 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 make the automated accounting and more smart, much faster, and also better way, because you know that uh, there are a lot of competition in the market now. And me and Augustine and even our other team, we actually meet together, we decide the things, we do the research, and then we actually jump to the new features and we do the work on that. So I'm just going to give you the quick overview of the application, that how we actually work, and what this application do actually. So uh, uh, okay, so now I'm going just going to give you the a quick demo of the application, that what we have been doing from last 1 year. So as you can see here, there is a dashboard where actually we have uh, displayed each and every activity of the organization, a company, or tenant who actually use the application. So to give you the proper flow, I would give you two ways that how we actually ingest the data in this application. So there are two ways. One is actually to upload the data from your CSV files or PDF files, and another way is actually to integrate your data directly from your bank. So, so there is an opportunity that from where you wanted to upload the data. So, like for example, if I connect my bank and if I wanted to get the data from my bank, so what I can do is that I can select I wanted to get the bank statement or a credit card statement, and then I can select the date range. Like I wanted to get the data of this month only. So when I selected the date, and I will say connect and import, and when I will connect that, it will actually connect me with the Plaid actually. So Plaid is a third party service that is secure, and the good news is that uh, I think I don't need to talk about the GPT stuff right now because they also showed that.
Okay.
So I will
Okay.
repeat again. Yeah.
Okay. I'll actually lead you into this. So
Okay.
let me start and I'll lead you into this.
So
Hang on 1 second, Imran. I'm going to lead you into this, um, and then you pick up after I start talking. So this looks really exciting, Imran. So what you're telling me is that one of your users can actually use the platform Plaid to connect their bank right into your system through that API and download all the data. Am I understanding that correctly?
yes, you are correct, and that is the way. Like they can actually connect their bank, like with the button, and directly they will connect with the Plate, and that Plate is actually the middleware where it actually handle more than 12,000 banks. So we are connecting through them. So when they will connect that, they will have to connect with their contact number. Right now, I have already connected my number, so I can just fill the code which I just received now on my number, and I just sent the code. Now it is asking me to select the accounts, so I can even click on add new account and I can add new bank, or I can select what I already selected for the banks. So like, for example, I'm using the Chase Bank, so I can select the Chase, I can confirm it, and now it is asking me to log into your Chase Bank. I'm here. I'm just selecting my login and password of my bank. And then it is asking me to give the authorization. I'm just saying yes, yes, next. And now it is asking me which account number. That is fine. Authorize. And it's just going to connect the bank. And then you see here connecting and fetching the transaction. So Plaid connected with the bank, and now Plaid actually helping us to get the data from the bank. So now our system is actually getting the data and then processing the data. And within 6 seconds, we will see that what data actually fetched. So it is now grouping. Now AI is mapping the chart of accounts. So this is actually multi-step way where we actually get the data. Now you see that the data is processed and everything is done. And this is actually the human in the loop way, like human can see and they can say, okay, everything is fine. Or if there is any problem, they can change. Like here is the transaction description, okay? And now top AI chart of account. So uh, AI actually classify the chart of account. It says that it is an income statement, okay, and this is actually travel and entertainment account, and there is a subcategory of that account is a phone and internet, okay, and there is a chart of account. So this is actually categorized by the AI. But if any company have their own custom chart of account codes, so what they can do is that they can add a new code here, like they can select the statement type, they can add the main category, they can add the subcategory, and also they can add the chart of account. And once they are done, that will also be part of their tenant actually. So right now, I'm not going to add anything, or user can even change the category by just clicking on here. They can actually select any other chart of account and like anything, or they can also search the chart of account with their codes. Like if they're expert, they can search with the code, and if they don't know much about the accounting, even they can also understand the things with the easy way by reading and selecting. So I can I so even I can go back and I can select the one which is actually selected by the with application. So this is actually the way. So if everything is fine, I can simply say next, 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 because I think it's fine. But if there will be any problems, it's a human in the loop thing. So user can change anything, and if everything is fine, so user can say next, next, next. So with this way, if I will do one time.
Imran, let me ask you this. So, for the investor that's watching this video, and folks, you've seen a button that's come up. Go ahead and click on that if you'd like to get more information, potentially even meet Augustine Capella to ask any direct questions with him. But going back to you, Imran, when an investor looks at this video and they say, "Well, I've seen this before. I've seen this with QuickBooks." Why don't you tell us a little bit about what are some of the challenges that a small business sees that you can immediately tell that Bokapsys, because this is what wowed me when I saw you walking me through this demo, that your traditional small business is going to run into, and that you can show us on the screen here how simplified it can be where they can have this AI CFO. It's absolutely remarkable. Imran, what I find so exciting about this is understanding AI. There's probably a lot of processes that you can automate because let's take a small construction company that maybe has 50 employees, relatively small, but they're doing maybe $10 million in revenue or something like that. When their bookkeeper comes in the morning, they need to have some information at their fingertips so they're just not being delayed. Talk a little bit about that, because I think some of the traditional problems that business owners start to deal with is just the pace at what things are getting done. So, can you speak to that, Imran, and what that would look like?
Yeah, I mean, the way is very simple. They have to just look through this one, just to make sure nothing to do here, just to make sure that everything is fine, and they can do one time, and next time ever there will be same kind of transactions. The system will never ask even to review, because it will learn the things that what's being done. Okay, and next time it will not even ask you to review the transactions with the chart of account mapping and all processing. So it's just a one-time thing for the new transactions, and it's very simple to just review, and everything is fine. Just make sure, and then once you are done, you can just save chart of account and finish. So you see now the transactions are saved. I can stay here, or if I will wait, then it will jump me to the view statements page. So where I can see all the data that is being processed, and there is all data where I can see. But if I wanted to see that which data I have processed, so see here in the we have actually different ways. Like we also allow users to upload the PDF files, CSV files, and also direct from the bank. So if user wanted to see that what I have actually got in last time, so he can see each and everything that what's being received in last sync. Okay, and they can review that, and also they can review here, or even they will have the opportunity to change anything if they want. But if there is any everything is fine, that's fine. Or they can even work on their transaction, like if they have big transactions for any activity. So now, like they have bought something in thousands of dollars, now they wanted to break that transaction into more, like with detail. They don't need to take only one transaction with $4,000. They can also split the same transactions into more by creating a new description. They can split it, like if I split into $1,000, so I can say um, ABC, okay, description. So here I can select the category, or it will be selected automatically if user will not select anything, because in the backend everything is managed by our system. So they can split that, and now you see that that split is here. That 1,000 is splitted, and the other one is actually the 3,000. So
That looks remarkable. And let me
yeah.
ask you this, going back to my example, if that employee, construction companies here in the United States, they start really early in the morning. So you might have someone coming into the office at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Is there a way to have this all prepped and set up so that a bookkeeper that maybe has to process payroll and expenditures and things of that nature, is there any way to have this all prepped so when they come in the morning, this can all be set up for them?
Yeah, I mean, for the ingestion of the data, as I told you, that they can actually, even like in the bank, they can schedule their banks. Like once I have added the bank, now I have the opportunity. Like I can schedule that every time when there is a new transaction, I wanted to get on this platform without doing anything. So what they need to do is that they need to say when they wanted to get the new data from their banks. So they can say, I wanted to get the data in every minute. So if they will select every minute, they will get the data every minute. So our application will call to the Plate, and Plate will call to the bank, and we'll see if there is new activity, and that data will be here. And user don't need to do anything. No need to worry about those things. Or user can select odds, or even user can say, I wanted to see the new transaction data on my yesterday. So, and also I wanted to see at 8 a.m. when I start my office. So he can just select the schedule, and now the schedule is set. So next day, whatever your transactions are today, tomorrow you would have those transactions in the application, and of course after that you can do whatever you want.
That is
So
absolutely.
easy. Let me introduce here the concept. Still, building in the example that you mentioned. Okay, so I'm an owner. I'm the owner of that construction company, and I don't like to do accounting. I believe it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
And today what I do, I ask my question to my accountant. I give my information to the accountant. With that system, when I start working, from home or whatever, I can have information, that what's happened already. I have it. I can I can look at it. I can understand. I can ask a question that will give me the insight of what I have. Or even I'm an accountant of that firm. Today, I need to wait, to get the data. I need to wait people to provide information to me. With that system, I don't need to wait. It's done in minutes, and I got information that I need. So
that
I
is.
think the pain point of spending time on something that I don't like to do,
Yeah,
wasting time on trying to get data, collect data from every places, that it, that process allowed to unify and have a data ingestion that in minutes, and allow me to avoid wasting time and looking at data.
I love that. And you know what I also love as well is I'm looking at this, and there's simplicity, there's speed. That is so important in today's day and age that it has to be user friendly, right? A lot of these software platforms years ago, or even software in general that you would have on prem, could be very complex on the setup side. I just watched Imran just run through clicking a few buttons, choosing a few ways to select the way he wants the data parsed out. And it looks like if I don't want it that way, I can change that very quickly on the fly. Am I right, Emron?
Mhm.
Yes, of course, of course. Even if you have uploaded wrong data or you don't want that data, you can simply delete that data as well. And we have actually the security. Nobody actually can access your account and do whatever he want. He just need to be confirmed that if he wanted to do any thing. But yes, of course, if you have mistakenly uploaded any data, you can delete, you can add it, and you can re-upload. And even if you will re-upload the new data and even the old data, our system is very smart. It will just ignore the duplicated data and will only upload the new transactions.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Augustine, talk to me a little bit about one of the exciting points you and I were discussing recently with understanding what is actually beginning to come in, where that agentic AI, I'm not sure if I can use that term, but having an AI CFO that can manage cash flow and start understanding that, hey, these people are starting to pay slower and slower. Maybe there's not a reliance on that cash flow, things of that nature. Can you speak to some of the challenges that small businesses are even facing today because of some of the rising inflationary costs, the cost of fuel, all these different things? It's just getting harder and harder for small businesses to
Mhm.
make ends meet. And you can really refine their process and make it more efficient for them, saving them potentially thousands of dollars. Can you speak to that, Augustine?
Oh, of course, and data. Imran just explained the data. The most important thing is to get the data into the platform and make sure that it's accurate, 100% accurate, and there's no leakage. So that's what we're doing, and Imran demonstrated one way to get the data into the system. Once the data are in the system, you can really, apply intelligence in order to understand what's going on. Make sure that as a business owner, one of the most important item is cash flow. Making sure that your cash flow is under control, making sure that you understand, you know, the next few weeks of cash flow that you have compared to the last few weeks that you spend. Understand where the money is coming from. Understand where the money is going to. Okay, so that has been our motto. And when we created the AI CFO, we using the LLM intelligence in order to apply the context of the company that we're working on and be able to ask questions and and get the response to those questions. And also, and I believe that's kind of a different layer that we have on top of everything, is to understand the consequence of risk, understand the consequence of events. So that really, the layer that I believe will be important in the years to come. You get the data and you get the event on the context of your company, and you will be understanding and getting the information about what to do if something happens. So Imran, if you can, go to the AI CFO, and
Yes.
we can
Yes.
talk about the budgeting item that we build in there, that I believe would explain the concept that I just talked about.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
great. And folks, if you notice on there, there's been a link where you can click on this. If you've said, you know what, I have seen enough. I want to speak to Augustine directly about potentially making an investment into this company. I think it's remarkable what you've been able to do, Augustine, with your team. This is really going to help small business owners, and I think it's going to become a household name in small business, in my opinion. Imran, go ahead and jump to what you're going to show us here.
Yeah, sure. As we were looking at the ingestion of the data, so I think still now we didn't see any AI kind of magic, but in the backend everything is working as even the ingestion of the data, and that intelligently processing the data and understanding the data and categorizing and doing everything. But if I show you that what user will see on the application, that is actually many things. Like the first one is actually smart chat. So our smart chat is same like all the other LLM models chat, where they can actually chat whatever they want. They can ask the questions. They can save the history and do whatever they want. But I will come here later. First, I want to show you something else. So we have actually AI agents here. So what AI agents do, like as Augustine was talking about the AI CFO. So one of our AI agent is actually AI CFO, which have all the context. We have instructed that what exactly you want to do, and you what it will be doing. And also we have other AI agents like cash forecaster, anomaly watcher, collection assistant, bill watcher, AR assistant. Even we have the list of more templates as well, where the users can actually clone right away by clicking on clone, and they can add in their AI agents list. So, but if they have anything in their mind, they wanted to do anything on their data, they can click on new agent, where they can name the agent, they can add the description, they can add specific instruction what exactly they wanted to do. And now then they can even take it for themselves, or they can share with their whole team, or they can select uh, share with the specific roles, because we actually manage multi I mean, we actually manage the roles of the team. So any company owner can assign any role to anyone. So and that those roles are actually managed in our complete application. I will give you the short introduction about that thing as well. But here, when you create the agent, you have all the context of your application. Like for that specific agent, maybe you don't want to give access on all the data, but you wanted to give access on the banking data only, or you wanted to give the access to the ledger and roles, or you wanted to give the access or context to other things like account receivable, payouts, app intelligence, risk. So these are all the data which we are actually managing in our application. So user can select all of them, or user can select any of them. So with that way, user can create the AI agents. So like as I talk about the AI CFO, for example, because in AI CFO, we have actually the name of the agent, we have the description, and also here is all that what AI agent can do. And here is the opportunity to the users. That is not just a static thing that they just need to use it, but they can also customize whatever they want. And this is actually the beauty of the application, because maybe company to company things can be changed, and their mindset can be changed, maybe their strategy could be changed, so they can also customize the things. And now if they wanted to use, they just need to click open chat, and once they click that, you see that so here, sorry, I can go back and I can click on the AI CFO, for example. So here I have AI CFO selected in the context, and now AI CFO have the access of the data. So now if I will ask any questions, AI CFO will answer from that context. It will not be giving the answer as hallucination, but it will be giving you the answer exactly based on your data, what you have actually ingested, what you have actually financial reports, what are your accounts receivable, AR, invoicing, each and everything. So as I was showing that user need to select. So here, if I will ask any question, it will answer me accordingly. But due to time, I have already chat with the AI CFO. So I just wanted to show that quickly that how it works, because it will save time, but it will give you the right idea that how AI CFO work. For example, in the start, I asked that give me the CFO summary of our financial health this quarter. So it give me the income statement, and now it give me some description about that what's going on in this quarter. And then I say, hey, how are we doing on profitability, and show me the trend. So when I ask that, it is showing me the plots, and now I can see that what is the revenue, what are the expenses, and what is actually the income, net income. So what was the net income on April, and what is the net income in May now? Okay, so it is showing me all the trend. So what's going on with the time, and even if I because and now you can notice one thing. In the last question, I asked about the quarter. It means the last quarter of 3 months. Now it is considering the last 3 months, because it is understanding that what I should answer. User don't need to specifically say that what time range, because our um, uh, smart chat system can understand the context of the user. So in the same way, I have asked many other questions, and it give me the answers. Like I say, break down our expenses by category, and chart it. So chart it means I want to get in a chart plot. So when I said that, it gave me the expenses like IT expenses, how much you can see the amount, and for the trans account or salary, wages, and benefits, and I can see that what are the expenses, what are the amounts, and everything is done there.
Well,
So
that's really powerful. And you brought up a great point earlier, because when you think of traditional large language models, they do hypothesize. This is taking factual data that you've brought in so that the business owner really has rails to run on to react and be very responsive. And if you're
Mhm.
doing this on a regular basis, maybe it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is, this can really help right the ship,
Yeah.
a small
And
business.
easy. Let me take your example of that construction company, the
Yeah.
owner of that. So now, using that platform, that owner, it can have a command center. That Imran was showing to you here. what you can do, you can bring all the data together now, and you have a command center. You could have, you know, a to-do list that you can create, and
Hmm.
you can assign tasks to people and have, the result of those assignments given to you. Is really a change in the game where, you don't, people today spend their time, let's say 99% of their time gathering data,
Hmm.
and trying to find the data.
Yeah.
And with that platform, we shifted that, the time spent will be in value-added activities, like, the AI CFO and everything that Imran has showed to you. And you can sit back at the end and say, I'm a command center, and I have a assistant that can do work and can help me to do my work also.
Love it. This is really, really powerful. And as we begin to sunset this conversation here, some of the things that investors look for, and on a related point to investors, folks, if you're as remarkably shocked at where AI has gone and how this is being harnessed and utilized for small business, and you want to learn more about this company, potentially making it a part of your portfolio, click on that link. I can't guarantee you that on this raise that they're doing, and we're not going to go into the details of all that right now, that you'll have a whole lot of time to make a decision, because I think once the world starts learning about Bokapsys, people are going to be clamoring to get a position in there. But as we do that, investors always look at, and what I've experienced over the last couple of decades is five things: that you're solving a problem for a large audience. You're certainly doing that with this platform. Do you have defensible IP that you're in the process of patenting, or anything that's defensible? And certainly we've talked about that, and you have that. And Augustine, I don't know where everything is with that at this point, but you can speak to that after I finish these next couple of points. Is this disruptive? The answer to that is clearly
Mhm.
yes. Is it scalable? Obviously, with software it is. And do you have a strong team? My goodness, we're already seeing
Mhm.
a piece of your team here, just walking us through this and what you've built. So that's exciting. So let's loop back to the defensible IP and the patents on that side, and what that all looks like. And Imran, you can stop sharing your screen now, because we're going to sunset this conversation here with a few final thoughts, and we'll take it from there. But back over to you, Augustine, on that side with patenting some processes and what this all looks like with the defensible IP.
Yes, we working with a lawyer on IP activities at the moment, and all the process of ingestion, can be protected. We have not seen that here, but there is an ingestion process that we use on, reading, any statement of any bank that exists in the US. You know that each bank has a different format on the statement, and what we have done here is to be able to read any of those. So that's one of the, I don't believe you can patent software yet in that world, but you can certainly defend it, the trademark on that aspect. And the other aspect that we are doing and working on is the ability to get the data from email. So, um, easy. Our main goal is to simplify people's life, right? A
Mm-hmm.
business owner, you know, I'm a business owner myself. I don't like to do accounting, but I have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So our mission here is to simplify the that activity, and so the business owner can really spend the time. What is important? It's getting the cash, getting the money that he needs to do in order to continue the activity and develop the activity that he has. And so one of the aspects that we're working on is to get the data from email. So so the data arrive at one point, but what we're trying to do is, where is the first time that the data enter the enterprise? and we can get it. And
Yeah.
email is certainly, one of the aspect where, people today use email to do everything. So, and what Imram has done is to be able to go to the email, and at the moment we tested with Gmail, but of course we're gonna test with Outlook and the other email provider, so we can have the data and treat the data very early in the process in order also, like always, gain time, gain access to data, and have the insight in advance. I just give you an example of thing that we're working on. If you easy you are in the process to negotiate a contract with somebody, okay? What we want to do is to understand that you are in the process to negotiate a contract, and when the contract draft arrive in your inbox, we should be able to give you insight on that term and T&Cs. Hey, what about the termination clause? You know, what about the timing of payments? And that's done very early in the process. When we see it arriving in your email, we grab it and we analyze it and get back that thing to you. So I believe that process also, could be, I don't believe we can really, do a pattern on software, but we can certainly trademark.
Well, I love what you're doing with that, and certainly there's the ability to copyright certain scripts related to software, and that can be redacted. Everyone gets concerned about that being in the public domain, but certainly a redacted portion of that can be in there where it's copyrighted, the coding. But certainly you do indeed have defensible IP. There's no question about that. The other thing that is exciting about this is thinking about small businesses that get acquired by private equity firms. I can see a day where they can utilize this platform and say, oh, you're using Bokapsys. Great. I would like to get this information to see the true health of the company. That is so incredible because they can very, very quickly and make an analysis and an offer on a company as opposed to spending tens of thousands of dollars with an accounting firm doing forensic accounting and analyzing that. You've just removed all that. That is
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah,
disruptive. And what that,
exactly. And AJ, that's exactly right, because imagine that business case of a P comp or PE trying to analyze a company. The ingestion process that Iramik described to you, we can really, ingest years of data into the system very, very quickly. And when that's done, we can have or analysis, run and get, the insight, or, if the let's say the P company is concerned about EBITDA, etc. So we can get the data, give a trend, and the due diligence can be done in in minutes, not
yeah,
in hours and days. Yes.
yeah, that is really exciting. So as we sunset this conversation, why don't we just talk a little bit about some of the use of proceeds, where this is going? And it just really seems like it has a lot to do with marketing this, refining some things, all the heavy liftings out of the way, in my opinion, with this MVP that you have. And you already have paying clients, which is really exciting, and you're speaking to more. That just shows you the proof of concept and how this is going to scale. And while I'm on the subject, folks, again, your last opportunity to go ahead and click on that link. Get on the schedule where you can have a brief conversation potentially with Augustine Capella, the founder of Bokapsys, maybe even Imran, if your tech team wants to delve a little bit deeper and understand this. It is remarkable what they're doing, and I think you're going to have a small window of opportunity to make this a part of your portfolio. So as we have our closing thoughts here, Augustine, why don't you just share a little bit about what your plans are on utilizing the capital that you're going to be seeing infused into the company with investors now?
Yes, easy. I think it's pretty simple at that stage. What we want to do is to create a real company. At the moment, we have contractors. Inram is a contractor. We have, contractor working in different places of the world. So what we want to do is to use that proceed in order to bring Inram and the development team inside the company, not only as contractor but as employees. So that we want to do that. That's gonna be a part of the proceed. And the second part of the proceed will be customer acquisition. I
Mm,
think we have a few customers today that we wanted to make sure that we can demonstrate the, let's say, the reality of what we have, and that's how we wanted to have those customers in very, very early. So some of them are free. We don't use a freemium in order to get them in, a free trial that we convert in paying.
yeah.
And but in order for us to really be there on the market, we need to really spend the money in marketing, and that will be the second part of the proceed that we use that. So easy, I didn't mention the amount. Um,
Yeah,
you
no,
know, uh,
that's okay. We don't want to
mhm.
do that here. And folks, if you want to get that information, again, click on the link. We'll get a call scheduled with you and Augustine Capella, and you can learn more about what they're doing here. We're excited about this. And folks, on the Founder Spotlight, I've got to tell you, this is just head and shoulders above what I've seen with AI use cases and what this is doing with understanding how that data is coming in, how to appropriate it related to contracts, the health of a company, positioning that as you're scaling a company so that you can put it in front of M&A acquirers, PE acquirers. This is just so remarkably intelligent. And the use cases that we just brought up here are just small, but it's expansive. Think about it, the use cases of all the other businesses and the verticals that this could be utilized in. So I'm really, really excited about this project. Augustine, I got to tell you, my hat is off to you, especially with what you've been able to do with Imran and the team and what you've grown this to. So I'm excited to see this company get capitalized and become a household name, in my opinion. So that is all for today on Founder Spotlight. Augustine Capella, Imran, thank you so much for joining us. This is absolutely remarkable. Folks, get on the calendar there so we can get you in front of Augustine Capella, the founder of Bokapsys. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye for now. We'll see you on
Bye
the next.
bye. Bye bye.